Hello everybody, welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Tonight we're going to be doing part 3 of the UPC Phonograph, the wind-up model. In part 2 I got the motor put back together again. It was making some racket. I've since ordered a new brass gear, well not a new one, an original brass gear from George at Antique Phonograph, Great Lakes Antique Phonograph, and that's not here yet. But I'll be working on the nickel-plated upper portions of the phonograph, the turntable, the reproducer, the arm, all the various mechanism controls. I'll be cleaning all that up, polishing it, and getting it ready to reassemble. And I might even get it reassembled, but that's where we're at. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello everybody, so getting ready to clean up these nickel parts on this UPC phonograph, calling it UPC for short now. They're not in horrible shape, they definitely need to be cleaned up and lubricated. And this nickel's pretty tarnished looking. I'm wondering if I can possibly clean it, buff it, whatever. I'm going to try it in the buffer. This piece right here has a slight crack in it at the base. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Maybe throw a little super glue in there or something. This here, let me set this where I can show you. This part actually is free. This part is not. I'm going to have to shoot some WD-40 in there, see if I can get that to loosen up. But I'm going to buff this stuff out, and I'm not going to necessarily show you guys all that. I'll show you a little bit of it. Also, I do have another brass drive gear for that spindle ordered. This is Friday evening. I'm hoping it may be here tomorrow. I'm hoping, but not really thinking it will be. He just mailed it Wednesday, so we shall see. Let's get getting these pieces off and getting them cleaned up. Alright, buddy, I got pretty much all of my hard parts polished. I had my arm and reproducer all apart. I got it all apart. I even got that piece off of that elbow. And I only had one fatality in the bunch, and I think I've kind of got it resolved. That cross brace that you see right there just fell apart, because this is all cast, right? Or not cast, but pop metal. As we all know, pop metal as it ages gets brittle. When I pulled that, just lifted it off, when I lifted it off this piece, it just fell out. But I super glued them back in. I think they're going to be okay. So that's good to go. Everything else cleaned up really good. I disassembled all of it. Everything came apart, even this piece here, got that all apart. Polished the springs, lubricated. This device here, the rivet, I don't know if you can see that, this ZE1. There is a rivet there. You can kind of see it on the back side. I smacked that a bunch of times with a ball peen to flatten it, to take the play out of this, because this arm was really sloppy like that. So now it's nice. Any place that had any rust on it, I just put a little dab of my liquid chrome on it. But everything cleaned up pretty good. That felt part that goes in that cup, that turned out good. That was the original top. That was the bottom. I brushed the bottom off and it cleaned up really nice. All of the hardware is in there. Every bit of it's polished. Pretty much ready to go back together. I was going to show you something here. So where the motor bolts to the or screws to the top wood plate is separated by these felt washers to keep down vibrations. Two of them were the originals. One apparently had gone bad or was missing, and they replaced it with this hard washer. It's a fiber washer. I think they made it out of something because it's not perfectly round, but it's hard. So what I did was, I have all these different size felt feet that I had bought back when I did the 7070, let's say, signal generator, yep, the Philco. And anyway, this size right here was the exact diameter. So what I did was I took 3 of them, stuck them together, drilled a hole in the middle. I did 3 because I took a pair of pliers and squished the original and saw how far it squished, and it took 3 to get the same exact squish. Even though it looks thicker, when it's squished it's the same size. So that's what we're going to have in there, and it'll be soft and absorb the vibrations. That one will get pitched. But everything's polished and ready to go back together, with the exception of the platter. I got to get the platter done next. So let me get the platter done, and then I'll start putting this back together again. So today is Sunday, and the brass gear is supposed to be here tomorrow. I'm not going to video me putting the brass gear in. I mean, it's really no different what I already showed you guys, other than I got to slide the one off and put the other one on. Grease it up and stick it in there, and hopefully it's quieter. We shall see. I'll show you a little bit of the platter getting polished, and then the next one will be hopefully with it, me putting the control parts back onto the upper board. So let's do that.
I could call, but you get to hang up. Stand on your motorbike, and for the most part, I don't lie. That was just crowded eyes, that was just crowded. Did you predict how that was dark? Did you try and see it for me? And you had me climbing up trees, get me standing 'cause the rings were older than I am. Stand on your motorbike.
Cosmic.
this will go in here and onto the governor shaft that sticks up through the motor right here. So I can't put this, I can put this on, but I can't put this on. This will go right here, like that. Alright, there it is. Everything's put back on it. I went ahead and laid the arm in here just so you guys see how that goes. That's actually going to go on to the governor shaft, the brake. I showed you it goes against the rotor. That'll attach there, and then when it's attached, you just rotate that to get it faster or slower. Slow being on this side, fast being on this side. Got this in. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that is. Whoop, show you. I'm not sure what this is. If any of my viewers know what it is, let me know. This is a needle holder. I think that might be a rest for the reproducer when it's not playing, for you to set the needle on. I think that's what that is. And then of course the brake for the platter. Stop right here and start. So that's that. There's a reproducer in the stand for that. Those won't go on until I get it back up to the actual main cabinet, and that's where they'll go. So now we're just waiting for that brass gear to show up. We shall see in a day or so. I think it's supposed to be here tomorrow. Alright, just a quick update, guys. So I got the new gear put in, and as you can tell, other than hearing Moose walking down the steps, it's considerably quieter than it was. Very nice, actually. Got the it's down in there, and it's chugging away, and it's working nice. Working very nice. Also, the other thing I did was I cleaned the crank up. I don't know if you guys remember what the crank looked like. It was solid basic rust, and I cleaned it all up, polished it, and then clear coated it. So looks a lot better. That and the bezel for it was solid rust, and it's not any longer. So that'll be going on. So I'm basically ready to put it back into the cabinet. And yesterday I was upstairs and I got the lid put back on. I had removed the piano hinge from the lid and polished it all up and all of the screws for it. And then the hood prop, I polished that all up and got it all nice and put back together again. So now I'm just ready to kind of go in there and stab it all back together again. So here's the UPC phonograph all back together in its rightful place next to the 55C Atwater Kent. She's all back together again. I'm going to take the items off the top that my wife has resting on it right now and show you what it looks like. I was hoping to give you guys a demonstration here, but unfortunately I ordered some green felt and some felt pads and some needles. They're coming from California, and with the post office the way it is right now, it could be 2 weeks or more before I get them. So I'll show you where we're at right now. Okay, there's our handle all installed. And you can see got record storage in there, some slots. Missing a couple slats, but they're up here. I haven't done anything with the cabinet yet. I'm not sure how much of the polish you guys are going to be able to make out in this video either, but I got everything highly polished. And she's back together again. A couple of unique things that I wanted to show you guys. Let me take the platter off for a second. Okay, so a couple things I want to show you guys. So again, this is the speed control. Depending upon where we have this lever moved, it puts that brake against the governor. This is the start. And if you can see this, that is a round leather, I want to call it dowel. I actually had an antique Singer sewing machine, treadle machine, that I had bought a new belt for, and the belt was perfect for that, and I just cut a little 3/8 section out and put it in there, and that's the stop leather. Over here, this device, this is the automatic stop. That's a triangular piece of leather there, and when this arm comes around, let me show you what happens down there. That lever on the tone arm right here makes contact with that lever and trips and stops the turntable. So there's the used needle cup, and there's one for either side that you would put either soft or loud tone needles. Over here, I don't know how well you're going to see it, but there is a lever that pulls out here. I actually didn't know what this was because it wasn't connected to anything, and I went on to Facebook and joined an antique phonograph group and asked the question, and they said, oh, that's your volume control. Well, there was a piece of wood that was laying down inside the cabinet, and right below the tone arm is the neck that goes down to the horn, and there's a block of wood that this screws into, and when you pull it out like this, it's blocking the opening to the horn, and as you push this in, it gradually opens that up till it's wide open. So with it all the way in like that, this would be at its loudest. So it's basically volume control. I think that's pretty cool, as old as this is, to have some unique features like that, like an automatic stop, a brake, speed, and volume control. Pretty cool stuff. But that's how she turned out. The felt there is for the rest for the needle, and everything polished up really nice. Looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. So I'll get the turntable back on there and I'll show you how that automatic stop works. Okay, so let's start the turntable running. And I'll show you the stop here. turntable was instantaneous stop. The felt, because it's not glued down, kept going. I had a little bit of momentum, but the turntable itself right now is not turning. As you see, it's just sitting there. But yeah, that's how it works. Pretty slick stuff. That's going to do it for the United Phonographs Corporation phonograph. Other than I will come back with a short demonstration once I get my felt on and my needle, and we'll put a record on it and we'll listen to it play. But for now, thank you for watching Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm restoring history one piece at a time, be it electronic or non-electronic, such as in this phonograph. You all stay safe out there.